Imagine camping under the clear New Mexico sky when suddenly the chilling cry of a little girl pierces the night. The tranquility of nature is shattered, replaced by a sense of dread that clings to every rustling leaf and whispering wind. Picture this: a group of campers, huddled together under the vast starlit sky, their hearts pounding in their chests as they catch sight of a ghostly white figure in a nearby field. The figure, tall and eerily silent, stands at the edge of the darkness, appearing as nothing more than a spectral image in the glow of the campfire. Then, as if swallowed by the shadows, the figure vanishes into the dense woodland, leaving behind the haunting echoes of the girl's cries. The sound, so heart-wrenching and chilling, seems to hang in the air, a ghostly reminder of an unseen presence. As the story continues, the campers' unease grows. The cries persist, a spectral soundtrack to their sleepless night. The wilderness, once a place of beauty and tranquility, now seems to harbor an unknown terror. The trees sway ominously, their branches casting eerie shadows under the moonlight. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sends a new wave of fear coursing through their veins. And yet, as the sun begins to rise, the cries gradually fade, leaving behind a deafening silence. The campers, their eyes wide and hearts still pounding, are left to wonder about the chilling encounter. Was it a figment of their imagination, a trick of the wind, or was it something far more sinister, a ghostly echo of a long-lost soul forever trapped in the wilderness? Just an echo of a long-lost soul, or perhaps something far more sinister? As the cries fade into the night, we are left wondering. In the hushed halls of a mental health facility, a silence more profound than the quiet of the night resides. It's a silence that carries stories, stories that chill the bone, tales that make the hair on your neck stand on end. One such story revolves around a resident who chose to remain silent. An elective mute, they say, a person who decided to sever ties with the world of voices and conversations. But one day, the silence deepened. The resident vanished, leaving behind an unsettling void. Search parties were sent out, investigations carried out, but all efforts proved futile. The resident was declared missing, and eventually, tragically, dead. The silence grieved, mourned its missing companion, and life moved on, carrying the burdens of its unsolved mysteries. Yet, 10 years later, the silence was broken. A man walked into a hospital, unable to utter a word. His identity claimed to be the one of the silent resident, the one who was declared dead a decade ago. The family denied it, refusing to believe that their lost one could return so mysteriously. But the man exhibited behaviors that were eerily reminiscent of the silent resident. His actions, his habits, his silent demeanor all seemed to echo the lost resident. Yet he couldn't speak, he couldn't provide any explanations for his sudden disappearance or his even more sudden reappearance. The mystery deepened, the unease grew, and the silence turned more profound. Was it a ghostly return? A cruel joke played by the universe? Or was it a silent plea for help, a cry for understanding that got lost in the labyrinth of unsaid words? Or was it just a chilling riddle, a puzzle that refused to be solved, leaving us grappling with the terrifying unknown? This tale of the silent resident leaves us with more questions than answers. The echoes of the past linger on, filling the silence with whispers of the unknown. The silence isn't just silence anymore, it's a symphony of unsaid words, of untold stories, of unending mysteries. It's a silence that speaks volumes, a silence that terrifies, a silence that haunts. A family road trip takes an eerie turn when they stop at a rest area that doesn't exist on any map. Picture this. A family on a long drive decides to take a break at a roadside rest stop. The setting is mundane, the atmosphere, ordinary, but the feeling, unsettling. A sense of unease permeates the air, as if the rest stop itself is a character, cloaked in an invisible aura of dread. As they stretch their legs and breathe in the cool night air, their eyes are drawn to two men standing a little distance away. These aren't your average travelers. Their eyes, dark and empty, hold a void that seems to swallow all light, all hope. They turn to look at the family, and in that moment the air grows colder, the silence deeper. The family feels a chill run down their spines, their hearts pounding in their chests like a drummer gone mad. With an instinctual sense of danger, they quickly return to their car, the gravel crunching under their hurried footsteps echoing in the otherwise silent night. They leave the rest stop behind, the memory of the two men with the dark, empty eyes etched into their minds. Days later, curiosity piqued and nerves still rattled. They try to locate the rest stop on a map, but it's as if it never existed. No sign of it on any map, no mention of it anywhere. A chill runs down their spine as they realize they had stepped into a place that wasn't meant to be found. A place that was there one moment and gone the next, like a whisper in the wind. An ordinary stop turned into an uncanny encounter, a chilling reminder that not all is as it seems on the open road. A graveyard at night, a figure by the pond, a chilling encounter that defies belief. Picture this. A group of friends drawn together by their shared curiosity decide to explore a local graveyard under the cloak of darkness. Their flashlights illuminate the ancient tombstones and gnarled trees, casting long, eerie shadows that play tricks on the eyes. As they venture deeper into this hallowed ground, they find themselves near a still, silent pond. Suddenly, their attention is drawn to a solitary figure sitting by the water's edge. This is no ordinary visitor. The figure is adorned with a top hat, its outline stark against the moonlit sky. For a moment, the world seems to hold its breath. Then, in a heartbeat, the figure rises and runs towards them. Not around the pond, but on the water itself, moving with an otherworldly speed that sends chills racing down their spines. The friends, frozen with terror, can only watch as the figure vanishes into the spectral mist. But the horror does not end there. A loud banging echoes in the stillness, resonating from their parked car nearby. A pressure, heavy and oppressive, descends upon them, gnawing at their courage. They scramble to their phones, seeking a lifeline, but to their dread, find no service. The graveyard, once a place of peaceful rest, becomes a stage for their nightmarish ordeal. They are trapped until the first light of dawn pierces the inky darkness, lifting the oppressive weight and restoring their connection to the outside world. As they flee the graveyard, they are left with more questions than answers. Was it a warning from the beyond? A haunting from a restless spirit, or simply a spectral trick of the light? The friends may never know. All they can do is carry the memory of that night, a chilling reminder of the unseen world that exists just beyond our perception. A warning, a haunting, or a spectral trick of the light? The graveyard holds its secrets close, the echoes of its past inhabitants reverberating through the night. A chance encounter with a former classmate turns into a chilling ride with a phantom passenger. Imagine this. You're driving home late at night. The only sound is the hum of the engine and the occasional flicker of the radio. The streets are familiar, bathed in the ethereal glow of the streetlights. Suddenly you spot a lone figure at the side of the road. It's a former classmate, someone you haven't seen in years. You pull over, offer a ride, and they climb into the passenger seat. As you drive, you catch up on old times, reminiscing about shared memories, laughing at forgotten jokes. The conversation flows easily, like no time has passed at all. But as the journey continues, a feeling of unease begins to creep in. There's something not quite right, a missed detail, a misplaced memory, a sense of disquiet that you can't shake off. Then, it hits you. It's the face in the rearview mirror, that classmate, their smile, their voice, their presence. But it's impossible, it can't be them. They're dead, they died years ago. You attended their funeral. Your blood runs cold as you realize that the person sitting next to you, the person you've been talking to, doesn't exist. Not in this world, at least. You pull up to a mobile home park, the supposed destination. Your phantom passenger steps out, thanks you for the ride, and disappears into the night. You sit there alone in your car, your heart pounding in your chest as you grapple with what just happened. Was it a ghost, a figment of your imagination? Or perhaps a haunting reminder of a past that refuses to rest? A phantom hitchhiker, a spectral visit, or a haunting memory? As the car drives off into the night, we are left with a chilling reminder of the fine line between the living and the dead.